All right, so this is guided practice. What I want you to do is I want you to do a problem, play the video, watch that first problem, pause it, do the second problem, play the video. And so when I look at these, this will go back and forth. Representing opposites on a number line. Plot each number and its opposite on the number line. Okay, so I'm going to make a number line. I see that my numbers here, my biggest one is 20. So on my number line here, I'm going to make my number line on the top. I'm going to put 0 in the middle. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, 6, -7, -8, -9, -10, 11, -12, -13, -14, 15, 16, -17, -18, -19, -20. Okay. Now what we need to do is number 1. You're going to do number 1 now. I'm going to plot it there. And when you're ready, you're going to play the video. So first, number 1 was 4. So if I plot 4 on the number line, it would be right here. Then I need to plot its opposite. And its opposite would be -4 on the number line. And so I'm going to plot -4 on the number line as well. And so I'm going to have -4 there and 4. I'm going to do both of them. I'm going to write both of them down as my answers. Make sure you pause it and do that same thing for number 2 right now. Number 2, we had -17. So if I was to take -17, it would be -5, -10, -15, -16, -17. So this would be -17 on the number line. The opposite of -17 would be 17. And so I'm going to plot that on the number line. You should pause it and do number 3. Number 3 is tricky. It's the opposite of -5. So that first one, we have -5. The opposite of -5 is just going to be 5. And so that's the same as the opposite of -5. Now, the opposite of that would just be -5. And so I also need to have -5 on that number line right there. Shh. Pause it, do number 4, and then come right back. All right, number 4, they give us 11. And so I put 11 on the number line. The opposite of 11 would be -11. So I put -11 on the number line right there. Pause it and do number 5. Number 5, the opposite of -20. Hopefully you notice that this one is a lot like 3. So if we have -20 and we have the opposite of -20, well, that would be 20. Then the opposite of that would just be -20. So they're trying to mess us up there, okay? And so that was part 1. There are 2 more parts. 1 second, please. All right, so guided practice part 2. A lot of you are like, we've done this before, and I know that. And so now, if you did it before, this should be really easy. And then last time we did this, we never looked at the answers. And so I'm making sure we've taken a look at the answers here, okay? So a thermometer is like a vertical number line. This thermometer shows the temperatures for 6 locations around the world in degrees Fahrenheit. Use the thermometer to estimate the temperature in each location. So you should estimate it and write it down first, and then play the video to get the answer to see if you were right. 1 is Antarctica. I see it's between -30 and -40. I see it's closer to -40. And so I'm going to say -38 would be my estimate because it's not on -40. It's a little warmer than that. Number 2, you should pause it and do it and then play the video. Then as you're playing the video, Philadelphia here is between 40 and 50. It's closer to 40. I would say 42. Pause it and then play the video again for number 3. Number 3 is Phoenix. Phoenix is between 110 and 120. It's closer to 110, so I would say 111 because it doesn't look like it's right on 110. These are all degrees Fahrenheit. The little circle is degrees. Now number 4, pause it and do number 4 and then play the video. For Moscow, it is between -10 and -20. It's closer to -10. I would say -12 degrees Fahrenheit. I would pause it, write my answer in, and then play the video. Guatemala City is between, Guatemala City looks like it's just exactly on 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And those were the 5 you had to do for part 2. All right, part 3, we're looking at a vertical number line. It has an interval of 10. Use the number line to answer each question. So here's 0, here's -50. 0, -10, -20, -30, -40, -50. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay. Number 1 says, what number represents the location of point A? You should pause it and you should write in your answer. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Point A looks to be at 80. Pause it, do number 2. Point C is right here. What number represents the location of point C? 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. It's halfway between 50 and 60. So C, I would say, is at 55 on the vertical number line. Pause it, do number 3. Which point is located halfway between 0 and -10? 0 is here, -10 is here. Halfway between is point D. Pause it, do number 4, play the video again. 4, which point is the opposite of point B? Tricky question there. So I look first, pause it, do it first. Point B is -10, -20, -30, -35. The opposite of -35 is +35. So 10, 20, 30, 35. And so point F is going to be the opposite of point B. Pause it and do number 5. 5, which number represents the location of point E? Point E is here, -10, -20. So -20 is going to be point E. Okay, and so those are the guided practice problems for today.